Hey guys, guess what? Guess what? The Suzuki School now has an upright double bass. Yep, it's a bright red one. There goes the cat. It's a bright red, upright rockabilly double bass. Now I am going to be teaching Suzuki on it. I haven't played double bass for many, many years, but I have experience with a double bass. My son was a double bass player for a while with the youth orchestra, and it's the wonderful thing about the Suzuki books is they share the same songs. So the first track in the Suzuki book is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So we're going to launch into that straight away when it arrives. It's going to take a while because my strings need to be upgraded. I'm going for special rockabilly strings. Now it comes with a bow, but is a rockabilly bass in terms of it's structured in a more robust manner, and it's obviously red, so it's lacquered, it's painted. I'm absolutely thrilled with it. Honestly, really, really excited. So we'll be launching those classes, I would say, by the end of the month. Let's hope it's by the end of the month. I mean, if they've got one in stock, it'll be sooner. It would be lovely if it arrived at the same time as the viola, wouldn't it? That would be absolutely spot on, because I'm on number 2 for the Suzuki piano and Suzuki cello. So it would be quite nice if we could catch up with the bass and the viola, and I will endeavour to do that. I'll just have to work really hard for the first week. It's not the performing of the tracks, it's the uploading of the films. It's the little edit, which takes a very long time because I'm working with GoPro, and GoPro create really big 3D files. So they're really, it's quite time intensive, I guess is the word I should say there. And then, of course, we'll be doing some more sort of pizzicato and slap work on the bass. Well, once we've sort of launched it on the Suzuki. Now, the thing with playing bass, you're probably going to find that you'll be in a band really easily. But let me tell you something. If you get into the youth orchestra with a double bass, you have very little competition. There are very few other people who have one. It's a very big instrument. It's, very, very difficult to lug around. It doesn't even fit in a small car. Do you see what I'm saying? So therefore people are less, people play cello avoid cello rather for a similar reason, because even a cello is quite big, so you imagine double bass. However, your competition is very low, and you are more likely to get into the youth orchestra, any youth orchestra. And I'm not sure how that fares for grown-up orchestras, but I will see, because I'd quite like to join a philharmonic at some point. And, that would be more interesting for me, I think, than joining as a cellist, because the bass keeps, I'm not going to say it's easier, but the bass generally doesn't have the solo that certainly that the violins have. The violins have loads of solos always, but the cellists have solo parts as well. But the bass tends not to. The bass is really the glue of the whole orchestra. It's the pace. It's just no, I hate to say the word just. Often it's a rather pedestrian, constant beat, and you're very important. You're very important, but you're not as fancy. Shall I say that? You're not as fancy. But if you're important in the orchestra, in any orchestra, they will welcome you in with open arms. I promise you this, right? And of course, the wonderful thing about the double bass is that if you do a bit of slap bass or bowing, the chances of you getting in a band, especially a rockabilly band, rock and roll band, are really, really high. People will love you. And, again, a lot of what you're doing is quite pedestrian in a way. It's that walking bass line. So I'm going to recommend that you get one, guys. Get one, because if you want a career in music, but you don't want to and you've got a car or a van, mum and dad have got a car or a van, or you've got a car or a van, and you don't, the last thing you want is to get on a bus with a double bass. Absolutely no, no, no. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Now, my double bass, the red one, I've got it from Castle Strings. It comes with a soft case, which is irrelevant because it's not going to leave the house. I'm a recording musician, so very rare I take my instruments out of the house at this current time. I mean, later on when the Suzuki School is more profitable, I will be getting us a van, mark my words, and it'll probably be black and red and have Suzuki School written on the sides, or black and gold. Yeah. In fact, you know what I might do? I might do it now. I might go pop along to eBay and get a magnetic car sign with my Suzuki School logo on it, which I haven't done yet. I haven't made it yet. So, yes, darling. Start the advertising process early. I mean, the thing is, when you're a global outfit, and I am a global, I'm an online global school, there doesn't seem to be quite so much point advertising in your local area. And literally, I take mum to Aldi. That's it. We don't really go anywhere else. So, the dream of the van will be later on when I'm doing more proactive stuff, more physical stuff. And it will need a little thing at the back that goes up if I can't carry it, because I don't know that I'll be able to lift it high up into the back of a van. I've no idea. I'll need something like a little, what do they call those things? Like a slope that goes down to the ground, or one of those platforms that raises up in the lorries. I mean, is that too much to ask for? Probably is, isn't it? I bet I can get a van that has all that for me. I bet I can. And then it would need special stands in the back secured to protect all my instruments, and then I can have my cello, my viola, and my bass, and of course my keyboard, whereas I have actually got a stage keyboard, so I could just take everything. That'd be rather good, wouldn't it? I don't know if there'd ever be a reason to do that. I'm just having a dream today, a dream about the future of the Suzuki School. I really am. In the meantime, before I get my van, and before the cello and the viola, before the upright rockabilly double bass arrives in red. Guys, they do purple. I can't remember, blonde. They call it blonde. So they do purple, blonde, and blue. I hate blue. I didn't want blue at all. That's not going to go with me. So it was a toss up, really. The purple I was seduced for about a minute, and then I thought, oh God, no, that's not going to go with most of my clothes. Remember, you're going to stand next to this thing. In all my videos, I'll be standing next to it. It's important to be visually interesting. You don't want the viewer's eyes to be like, oh my God, she's got green trousers on and a purple instrument. It looks terrible. And remember, green is my colour of the week. I started wearing green eyeshadow. So I thought, red goes with me. Red really goes with me. The blonde, as they called it, is a very pale, I'd say anemic wood. Very anemic. And there would be this huge anemic area in my videos. I thought, no, I can't have that. I mean, if I decide I don't like the red, I can cover it in, I'm an artist. I could paint it at some point in the future. I love the idea of that, but it would take a long time. You'd have to use really good paint and varnish it and do all these things, and it would take months. In fact, it would probably take me years because I'm such a busy woman. But yeah, very excited. So because I'm online, you can access all of my lessons. Some are free, but not many, to be honest, not anymore. Mostly you've got to pay now, but only a few pounds per lesson. And that's much cheaper than I do my one-to-one lessons for. They're £50 one-to-one for an hour. and you can watch my. I mean, they're not an hour long. They're about. They're usually longer than 8 minutes. Um, I think the one I've just done may have been. No, I think they are. They're all longer than 8 minutes. The annoying thing about the GoPro is that after 8 minutes, it starts a new film, a new recording. I don't know if I can change that, but it's infuriating. But what it means is sometimes there's little jumps in the video, but that's okay. But it means I have to edit them, to get them all correct and what have you. Um, so because I'm online, of course, the access is literally press of a button. So if you pop to Lounges TV, iServalan on Lounges TV, just search iServalan. And Suzuki_school, that's my hashtag. I'm using that everywhere now. You will definitely find me on whatever platform you're choosing. Website, yep, www.suzuki.school. Lovely website, really like my website. You can book lessons there if you want to. I'm not sure, I think people are shy to start lessons, and I think, starting a lesson with somebody can be quite nerve-wracking because especially for an adult, and remember I specialise in adults, and I think the thing with adults, especially if they've been playing a long time, but they know that, they've got gaps or they don't know how good they are or they want to improve, but they've come across a brick wall, which often happens when you're learning online. This brick wall, because you haven't got somebody there to tell you how to improve, because you think you're doing everything correctly. It feels like you're doing everything correctly. I can play along to the YouTube, do you see what I mean? But actually, all you need is quite often you only need one lesson. That's all you need. One occasional lesson to tell you. I mean, think of them as a workshop, if you like, a personal workshop to point out your weaknesses, write them down. I always do a report afterwards. Write them down, write down how to improve, what lessons they need to keep looking at, etc., etc. This is it's disciplined. It's very disciplined improvement. You can do anything to a degree by copying and by watching, but to become your excellent, remembering that, when you're watching YouTube videos, you're watching somebody else's considered excellence. And that, I was watching a video the other day, and the staccato, the musician was lifting the bow up, and I thought, well, you mustn't do that. That's a different kind of bowing. But that's her excellence, and we all, when you have a teacher, the teacher discovers your excellence or your potential excellence and points it out to you and develops it. Do you see what I mean? And that's very difficult to do on your own. You're equally actually your bad bits. What am I bad at? How do I know if nobody's telling me, So there we go. That's it. Very excited about my red double bass. Really, really excited. Cannot wait. The Suzuki School is my absolute baby for the next 10 years. It's going to be a place of excellence, fusing modern and traditional techniques. It really is. It's going to be exciting, innovative, interesting, full of fun, great fun, and eventually a bit of a community of musicians. And I hope, that musicians hook up and get, anyone who's following the courses, tell your friends, get them to, get in touch, make contact, look at the staff, and yeah, I'm very excited about it all.